So those who have come to participate in this webinar, I convey thanks to them for coming forward for these students who are disabled. And in many cases, I think I have seen during my 37 years teaching experience that these disabled, both physically and mentally, those who are not normal, are to some extent neglected in those families who are not economically so much sound. So such an institution where Tapos and his institution is working for the disabled people, disabled students, I think it is a great job for the society. Here, this college is located in such a situation, which is a remote area. So in this remote area, such a training institute, special disabled students के लिए, so I think it is a great job they are doing. Every year, last year also I had the opportunity to take part in a seminar, on such a seminar. I was very much pleased that so many participants had come from various parts of the country. So I think it is a great opportunity for the learners who have take part other than the resource person. I think yesterday also, today also, there will be so many resource persons, expert persons, and naturally they will deliver so many lectures, but they will guide all the students. But I, being a layman on this subject, like again to convey thanks, but only one thing, in some cases during the adolescence period, the normal students also, normal children also face some problems in our present nuclear families where parents and one or two children are there. Though the concept of joint family is almost negligible presently. So in some cases, hurriedly with the parents used to say the students that you are not sufficiently grown enough. First you grow, then you will know all these things. Just think about the TV and mobile, some scenes are shown which we cannot explain to them. Then we say you are small, you are little enough, better you grow up, you will learn all these things. But within few seconds, we again used to say that you are sufficiently grown enough. Why you are not doing this? Why you can't understand the mathematics, all these things. So some sort of confusion, I think, develops within the children's. And this is very much, much more better to those who are physically and mentally disabled. I think these particular children, those who are disabled, they need special care, special training of the teachers, to which they have to develop their potentialities, their teaching capabilities, and all these things. Thank you very much. I wish all the success of the seminar. I think it is something technical fault is there. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear
ঠিক
me?
আছে স্যার এখন ঠিক আছে স্যার
Thank you very much.
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার
Thank you very much. Thank you. I wish all the best of this webinar, and I am sure that all the participants will be benefited, and the main aim of this webinar will be successful enough. Thank you very much.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. We are about to start today's program. I have muted everyone. Only those I will request to unmute, they can unmute. Others, please keep yourselves muted. Please keep your video off. I have already seen your faces. There should not be a problem. Please keep your video off also. We already know you're there. So it will be good for you. It will be helpful for you if you can keep your videos off. So we have at the moment with us Dr. Madhavi Sharma. Dr. Madhavi Sharma is a professor at ICFAI University. and she will be speaking on, suppose we are sending the same thing.
थैंक यू मैम, आप स्टार्ट कर दीजिए।
नहीं नहीं, एक मिनट, जस्ट मिनट।
अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है सर।
তুমি তো আমাকে ওয়ার্ড ফাইলটা পাঠালে না, ওয়ার্ড ফাইলটা পাঠাতে বললাম, আমি খুলতে পারছি না।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা স্যার, এটা ওয়ার্ডে পাঠালাম তো স্যার।
না না, এটা জেপিজিটা পাঠিয়েছো।
Sir, I can present, don't worry.
Okay, now I just wanted to say the
sir, 1 minute sir.
Sir, I myself give you the introduction also, don't worry about that.
Thank you ma'am, thank you. You can start. Yes.
Myself, Dr. Madhavi Sharma. I am working as a principal HOD of the Department of Faculty of Special Education at ICFAI University, Tripura. ICFAI University, Tripura is the IBS branch of Hyderabad, and we have altogether 7 branches all over the India. And we have the 4 courses we are running here, that is Diploma in Special Education, B.Ed in Special Education, M.Ed in Special Education, and MPhil in Clinical Psychology. And I have done my PhD in Special Education, and altogether I have 25 years of experience in this field, and I have published my near about 48 research paper in different journals and different conferences, and this is my short brief of myself. So I will start my topic. Yesterday, Momita madam has already told you about the increasing desirable behavior in the special school. With that connection only, today's my topic is the to promote the positive classroom behavior of the student at inclusive school, because as per the new education policy, inclusive education has highlighted and they have given a good stand where our child have a right to take education with all. So as per this new law, now we are going to have the inclusive education is a priority scenario with everywhere in the education system. So my topic belongs to how we can motivate the increasing classroom behavior in the inclusive setup. Sir, my slide is visible?
It is visible. It is visible. Everything is clear. Please continue.
Now basically when we teach at the inclusive school, the most 3 things are coming on our mind. That's what does it mean by positive classroom behavior in students. The second thing will come in our mind, why do we need to create that positive environment? And the third most, it will come in our mind, how can we create a positive classroom behavior in students? Means the 3 things are coming in our mind when we go to the inclusive setup. When we reach to the inclusive setup, first of all, we will find out the strategies to promote good classroom behavior. For the good classroom behavior, एक अच्छे classroom behavior के लिए हमें किन बातों का ध्यान रखना चाहिए? तो हमें 6 चीजों का पहले ध्यान रखना है कि जब हम किसी भी क्लासरूम में जाकर हम कोई भी कार्य करेंगे, तो हमारे बच्चों का व्यवहार कैसा होगा। तो उस चीजों के लिए करने के लिए सबसे पहले सोशल स्किल इंटरैक्शंस उनके अच्छे होने चाहिए ताकि बच्चे का व्यवहार अच्छा हो। अब एंटीसीडेंट बेस्ड इंटरवेंशन, कोई भी व्यवहार करने के पहले एंटीसीडेंट बेस्ड इंटरवेंशन की सोच रखना है ताकि जो व्यवहार होने जाने वाला है वो क्यों हुआ, कब हुआ और क्या होगा, इस बातों का भी हमें ध्यान रखना चाहिए। Self management intervention, we need to form the self management intervention. We need to plan out that in inclusive setup the self management intervention what will be followed, and the group oriented management system, because there are the children with disabled also and non disabled normal children are also, so the group orientation management system we want to follow that. Then behavior reduction techniques, whatever the behaviors are going on, we need to find out what techniques we will follow to reduce the undesirable behavior, and we need to increase the desirable behavior. And the last is the relationship building strategies, how we can relate the relationship between the each other, the peer mates, हमने एक अच्छा रिलेशन कैसे बिल्डअप करना है क्लासरूम में कि हमारा बच्चों का व्यवहार, अच्छा व्यवहार ज्यादा बढ़े और खराब व्यवहार कम हो। Second thing, strategies to promote a good classroom behavior. What strategies we need to follow to promote a good classroom behavior? First of all, we should have to develop the social skills. We need to develop the social skills, social interaction with other peer mates, teachers, other school followers, whosoever. Then we want to find the antecedent why the behavior is, we want to increase the what is the incidence as antecedents. Then self management is very much important. Then group orientation is very much important. Then व्यवहार मतलब behavior is very much important, and the relationship is very much important when we are developing the strategies to promote a good classroom behavior. एक अच्छे व्यवहार को बढ़ाने के लिए हमें इन सब चीजों का भी ध्यान रखना है। When we are working as a teacher, what action that can promote the acceptance includes? There are some criteria we want to promote for the acceptance by the teachers when we are working in the inclusive setup. First of all, the choosing the learning materials to represent all groups of students. Whenever we are using the learning materials, we should represent all groups of students because we are working in an inclusive setup. We cannot segregate the student wise. We want to integrate and we want to choose the learning material to represent all group of students. हमें हर बच्चे का ध्यान में रखते हुए हमें टीचिंग लर्निंग मटेरियल का चुनाव करना है। Ensuring that all the students can participate in extra activities. Whatever the extra activities we are taking with all students, we need to see that हमने ध्यान रखना है कि सभी बच्चे participate करें। हमें उसमें हर बच्चे को participate करने के लिए प्रेरित करना है। Valuing, respecting and talking about differences. हमें हर बच्चे को वैल्यू मतलब कीमत सिखानी है, एक में के प्रति रिस्पेक्ट सिखानी है, एक में से बातचीत करना सिखाना है। हमें ये कहना है कि नहीं, ये हम सब एक हैं, हमें एक में का वैल्यू भी करना है, रिस्पेक्ट भी करना है और एक में के साथ साथ रहकर बातचीत भी करना है, कोई डिफरेंसेस रखना नहीं है। celebrating the cultural and ethnic differences. जो भी हम जो भी प्रोग्राम करते हैं उनमें भी हमें हर बच्चे को इक्वली इन्वॉल्व करना है, उनको एथिक्स सिखाना है, कोई डिफरेंसेस नहीं रखना है. Ensuring that the learning activities are designed for the varieties of abilities. जो भी हम लर्निंग एक्टिविटीज लेते हैं वो ध्यान में रखना है कि हमने हर तरह की एक्टिविटीज को इन्वॉल्व करना है. Ensuring that all the students are protected from naming, calling or other forms of abusing language. हमें क्लासरूम में ये सब चीजों का भी ध्यान में रखना है कि कोई भी बच्चा किसी के लिए भी गलत शब्दों का ये उच्चारण ना करे, उसे गाली गलौज ना करे, गलत शब्द ना उच्चारे ताकि उसे कुछ ठेस पहुंचे. तो हमें इन सब का भी ध्यान रखना है और मॉडलिंग एक्सेप्टेंस रखना है. एक अच्छे मॉडल को हम हर समय हमें ध्यान में रखते हुए बताना है कि ये देखो ये बच्चे का व्यवहार बहुत सही है, इन व्यवहारों से भी हमें चलना है. When we are developing the relationship building strategies, we need to see the below points that get to know and demonstrate a personal interest in student. Whatever the personal interest in the student, we need to know and demonstrate that personal interest in front of all students. And develop this student self-esteem. उनके अंदर की अंतरात्माओं को जगाना है कि वो भी बहुत अच्छा व्यवहार कर सकते हैं, वो भी सभी लोगों के लिए अच्छे से व्यवहार में अनुकूल आ सकता है. यूज ह्यूमर, मतलब हमने ये सब चीजों का भी ध्यान, वी वांट टू सी दैट डोंट वी वांट टू यूज द ह्यूमर एंड ऑल दैट. Conduct class, whatever the class are there, the models are there, we need to see that. Be aware of non-verbal communication. We want to see whenever we should aware that non-verbal communication should not be there to build up the relationship in between that. Use effective educational techniques. We want to see that whatever the techniques are there, they are effective for the using to the all the children's or not. We want to see all these things also. When we are developing the social skill interaction for the increasing the behavior in inclusive schools or inclusive setup, so social skill interaction is a very much important to help the student to learn how to work in a group. Then social skills interaction to make the friends. In this, if we make a good friends, then we are increasing the desirable behavior. Through friendship also we can increase the desirable behavior in the inclusive setup. Then resolve the conflicts and emotion, whatever the conflicts and emotions are there in the inclusive schools or inclusive setup, because all type of children are there. So we want to resolve the conflicts and emotions, whatever in between. And we want to deal with the frustration and anger. If the children are showing the frustration and anger in the class and the problem is created, or so we need to increase the desirable behavior in solving the dealing the frustration and anger. Then we should recognize the response appropriate to other feelings. Whenever the social skills interaction for increasing the desirable behavior in the inclusive setup, we should recognize and respond appropriately to the others' feelings also. We want to see other feelings also, what are going on, because we are dealing with all the children. So we want to see all these factors also. Then antecedent based intervention. Yesterday, the whosoever dignitaries has spoken for the behavior modification, in that they have already spoken about the antecedent based intervention. व्यवहार होने के पहले हम पहले ही सोचेंगे कि हम कौन से इंटरवेंशन को ध्यान में रखें जो कि व्यवहार होने के पहले को हम रोका जा सके इंक्लूसिव सेटअप में. What is the antecedent based intervention? Changes in classroom, mainly where, so we can say events, जो भी events कर रहे हैं, जो भी हम कार्यक्रम कर रहे हैं, जो भी चीजें कर रहे हैं, हम किस वातावरण में कर रहे हैं, environment हो गया, और stimuli that predicts behavior. Whatever the stimuli is there, we want to predict that behavior. This definition has already given by Corno, Amos, Sellers, and Landry in 2005, and Everson and Stritchers, Huston, and Summers in 2005. How to make the changes? When you see these slides where we can able to see the changes, give clear and direct direction. How? It will come in our mind that how we will give the clear and direct directions. Then the second thing is come, use the teacher proximity and movement. What is the meaning of proximity? If we think about the proximity, निकटता, जिसको बोलते हैं कि हमने टीचर की निकटता, मतलब टीचर हमारे बच्चों को कितना अपने आसपास करीब में ला रहा है और मूवमेंट करवा रहा है, मतलब उसको ध्यान में रख के कोई भी एक्टिविटी करवा रहा है या नहीं करवा रहा है. तो इस चीजों को भी हमें ध्यान में रखना है. अगर करना है तो कैसे करना है, ये भी हमारे ध्यान में आना चाहिए. अगर हम किसी भी क्लूज को हम अगर यूज करते हैं चेंजेस करने के लिए, इंक्लूसिव सेटअप में इंक्रीज करने के लिए, बिहेवियर को बढ़ाने मतलब कम करने के लिए, बढ़ाने के लिए, हम अच्छे व्यवहारों को बढ़ाने के लिए हमें क्या करना है, हमारे अच्छे व्यवहारों को बढ़ाना है. तो हमें इन सब चीजों का भी ध्यान में रखना है कि अच्छे व्यवहार को बढ़ाना है और जो वो खराब व्यवहार कर रहे हैं उसको कम करना है. तो हमें अच्छे व्यवहार को बढ़ाने के लिए हम इन तीन चीजों को कहाँ पे बदलाव ला सकते हैं, where we can able to change that we want to think before we are increasing the desirable behaviors. Give the clear and direct directions. Means we want to speak in a respectful, firm and calm voice and manner. Means whenever the teacher is taking the class in inclusive setup, she should have a clear and direct directions to increase the desirable behavior, to speak in a respectful, firm and calm voice and manner. हम हर बच्चे के साथ एक उसके रिस्पेक्ट को ध्यान में रखते हुए हम बातचीत करेंगे. हरदम हम नहीं डांटेंगे, हम फर्म रहेंगे, हम कूल वॉइस में, काम वॉइस में बात करेंगे और हम मैनर से बात करेंगे ताकि बच्चा गलत व्यवहार को बढ़ावा ना दे. तो इसलिए हम ये सोचेंगे कि उसके गलत व्यवहार को कम करना है और अच्छे व्यवहार को बढ़ाना है. तो हमें इन सब चीजों का ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. Phrases your command so that the focus on what they should do and phrased directly. When we are phrasing the command so that it focuses that what the teacher is telling, what way the teacher is telling, we want to emphasize on that. Use the teacher proximity and the movement. Teacher ने whenever we use the teacher proximity मतलब टीचर कितना करीब जाती है, टीचर किस मोमेंट में हर चीज व्यवहार करती है, ये बहुत चीज बड़ी मायने में रखती है एक अच्छे व्यवहार को बढ़ाने के लिए. To stand near the student so that our student feel comfortness. Placing the student's desk near you whenever we are dealing with our special children in inclusive setup, we need to follow all these things. Talking briefly with the students while talking around the room. When we are talking, we want to not to elaborate so much that the student feels boredom. Talking briefly with the student while talking around the room. Delivering the praise, repentments, and thus consequences while standing close to the students. Yesterday, the Momita madam has already sent regarding the reinforcement, where delivering the praise is very much important. The repentments and the consequences while standing close to the students. It gives a good impact where they increase the good behavior also. Monitoring your movements. Whatever the movements we are doing, हमने हर समय ध्यान में रखना है, जो भी हम मूवमेंट कर रहे हैं बच्चे अपने ध्यान में ले लेता है हम जो भी व्यवहार हो। तो अच्छे व्यवहार बढ़ाने के लिए इंक्लूसिव सेटअप में इन सब चीजों का ध्यान टीचर ने जरूर रखना है जब वो इंक्लूसिव स्कूल्स में अगर बच्चे को पढ़ाता है अच्छे व्यवहार बढ़ाने के लिए। Use the clues. Non-verbal physical gesture can be used to promote a group or individual responses. For example, when individualized eye contacts जो होते हैं हमें, hand signals होते हैं, head movements हैं, ये सब चीजों का हमें non-verbal communication का भी हमें ध्यान रखना है to increase the desirable behavior. And verbal reminders. When we are dealing with the inclusive setup, where we want to deal with the many children, in that time we need to follow all these things, and you may be doing all these things also, but especially when we are dealing with all the children at that time, we need to know all these clues need to be done in non-verbal and verbal reminders, both the things in a classroom setup of inclusive education for increasing the desirable behavior. Self-management intervention. It is one of the most important thing in self-managed intervention. हमने अपना खुद का भी self management करने का एक intervention program बनाना चाहिए जब हम एक 30 से 40 बच्चों की क्लास को हैंडल करते हैं inclusive education में, जहाँ की हमारे बच्चे भी होते हैं प्लस नॉर्मल बच्चे भी होते हैं जिन्हें हमें साथ में सारे व्यवहारों को ध्यान में रखते हुए अच्छे व्यवहारों को बढ़ाना है, तो हमें सेल्फ मैनेजमेंट का भी ध्यान में रखना है। What is the self management? Actually, actively involve students in monitoring and changing their behaviors. Salden and Sylvester in 2005. और इसमें हमें actively involvement of students in monitoring and changing their behaviors. हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हम बच्चों को ही इन्वॉल्व कर रहे हैं मॉनिटरिंग करने के लिए और चेंजिंग बिहेवियर के लिए, ताकि हमारे जो बच्चे हैं वो अच्छे व्यवहार सीखे और बच्चों को देख के, और बच्चे ही उनका इन्वॉल्वमेंट हम करवा रहे हैं मॉनिटरिंग और चेंजिंग बिहेवियर में, जो हम कहते हैं पीयरमेट्स, जिनका बहुत बड़ा एक योगदान होता है हमारे बच्चों के व्यवहारों को बदलने का, उनके अच्छे व्यवहारों को बढ़ावा देने का। Is I am going little bit faster? Ways of self-management and interventions. What are the self-management interventions are there? सबसे पहले होता है सेल्फ मॉनिटरिंग। हमने अपना खुद का व्यवहारों को भी मॉनिटर करना है, बच्चों के भी व्यवहारों को भी मॉनिटर करना है सेल्फ मैनेजमेंट में, कि ये देखना है कि बच्चों का भी व्यवहार क्या है, हमारा भी व्यवहार क्या है। सेल्फ इवैल्यूएशन, हमने खुद का भी इवैल्यूएशन करना है, बच्चों का भी इवैल्यूएशन करना है, ताकि हमारे किसी भी ऐसी चीजों से मतलब नेगेटिव व्यवहार को हम बढ़ावा ना दे और हम पॉजिटिव व्यवहारों को हमें बढ़ावा देना है। तो सेल्फ मॉनिटरिंग और सेल्फ इवैल्यूएशन इज द मोस्ट important thing. Self reinforcement, yesterday you have a lot of things you have known from the Momita ma'am. What is the reinforcement, what is the positive reinforcement, what is the negative reinforcement, and that self reinforcement is plays an important role, where we want to think about in intervention program when and where we want to reinforce the child for the positive increasing desirable behavior. Self management free token response cost, where we want to self manage the free token response cost, where we want to give the token response cost, कौन से व्यवहार को, कौन से which positive increase desirable behavior we want to give the token economy, we want to find out and we want to self manage that behavior. Self instructions, the instruction should be a clear instructions to all the students, so that we can make a proper plan out for the increasing desirable behavior. Self-managing peer instruction, in that we want to see the self-managing peer instruction. The peer are the good model for our children. They imitate our children and the normal children. So the self-managing peer interaction is also a main important issue where we want to see in the self-management interventions. Now we see the group-oriented management system. What is the group-oriented management system in inclusive setup when we want to increase the desirable behavior? The four more main focuses is the group-oriented management system is what, how, why, and type. In that these all 4 points are interrelated with each other when we were say that what, कौन सा, why, कहाँ, how, कैसे और कौन से टाइप का. तो हमें इस चारों चीजों को बहुत ध्यान पूर्वक ओरिएंट करना है मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम को when we are dealing with the group to orient the management system, where all these 4 criteria plays a very important role. Then when we are want to increase the desirable behavior of the children at the inclusive setup. When we are orienting the group management system at that time, what? First we see the what. In what we will involve? Whom we will involve? We involve the teacher and group of the students where which we are dealing with. Then we will see the managing behavior problems. What type of problems we want to manage? If there is the problem arise, how we can able to manage with the teacher and the group of the students. Then we will want to see the carefully observe the impact of this system of students. In that 2 types of we want to take in note, that peer pressure and scapegoating. In this we want to see observe, हमें ध्यान पूर्वक ये देखना है कि एक पीयर प्रेशर का और स्क्रैबिकोटी का क्या प्रभाव पड़ेगा जब हम उसको चुनाव करते हैं टीचर और स्टूडेंट के बीच में। जब इतने सारे बच्चे हैं, इन सबको हमें ध्यान में रखना है, तो हमें ये भी केयरफुली इसका इम्पैक्ट क्या प्रभाव पड़ेगा जब हम इस सिस्टम को अडेप्ट करते हैं इतने सारे बच्चों के बीच में, जहाँ की हमें उनके अच्छे व्यवहारों को बढ़ाना है। We want to increase the desirable behaviors in the inclusive setup. Choose target behavior that benefits all the students and group can achieve. मतलब हमने टारगेट बिहेवियर का बेनिफिट के लिए स्टूडेंट्स एंड ग्रुप को अचीव करने व्यवहारों को हमें बढ़ावा देना है। अब हाउ, अब हम सेकेंड पॉइंट पे आते हैं, हाउ। टीच स्टूडेंट हाउ द सिस्टम वर्क्स। हमें बच्चों को सिखाना है कि सिस्टम कैसे काम करता है, क्लैरिफाई करना है। वी वांट टू क्लैरिफाई हाउ वी विल वर्क ऑन दिस सिस्टम। उनके बिहेवियर, उनके व्यवहारों को सेट करना है कि कैसे अच्छे व्यवहार करना है ताकि अच्छे व्यवहारों को हम बढ़ा सके। रीजनेबल गोल्स देखना है, हमें हर रीजन के साथ गोल्स का चुनाव करना है ताकि हम अच्छे व्यवहारों को बढ़ा सके। हमें हर समय we want to monitor the system, provide the students and feedback. Means we want to ask the students that whatever the behavior happen, whatever the behavior and desirable behavior happen, which we want to correct and we want to increase the desirable behavior, we want to take the monitor the system and provide the students feedback. We need to ask the student, what is your feedback? Why this is happened? How we can improve the desirable behavior with our children and other peer mates. See, we want to have the group interaction within the system. Then we want to develop the three types of system. That's the interdependent group system, independent group system, and dependent group system. This three group system plays a very important role in increasing the desirable behavior in the inclusive setup. These three, how they can play the important role, we will see that. First, we will see the interdependent group system. How we can apply this interdependent group system. Apply to enter in a group. In a classroom, there are so many children are there, near about 30 children are there. In that 5 children are our special children are there. So altogether 35 children are there. So interdependent group system mein how we can enter in the group. First, we want to see that the group free token response cost. First, we want to see how we can give the group free token response cost. So can we develop the good impact on that children, that if they do the desirable behavior, if they do the good behavior, so they can get the token on the basis of their behavior. So the group free token response cost behavior will first, then the good behavior game will appear, and the group evaluation will be happen. How will we happen? In the free time, how will we can able to do in free time, in class trip, in class party, in class games, and special privilege. We can do all this activity when we want to have the interdependent group system, where we can form all this activity and we can do the interdependent group system. Then group response cost with free token, where we can have a board in the classroom. The class are given free tokens, and the removed when the disruptive behavior occurs. हमने टोकन, आपने कल मोमिता मैम से सुना होगा कि टोकन इकोनॉमी क्या होती है। तो उसमें हम फ्री बोर्ड में अगर अच्छा व्यवहार करता है तो हम क्लास बोर्ड के ऊपर उसका टोकन लगा देते कि आज इसने अच्छा व्यवहार किया, इसलिए आज इसको 1 टोकन, और 1 घंटे बाद अच्छा व्यवहार किया जो कि डिजायरेबल है तो हमने उसको दूसरा टोकन दे दिया। तो हम ये रिस्पॉन्स कॉस्ट के अंतर हम ये टोकन इकोनॉमी का हम ये करते हैं। अगर उसने खराब व्यवहार किया तो हम उसका टोकन निकाल भी लेते हैं। तो इस तरीके से हम हमारे इंक्लूसिव सेटअप में भी ये काम कर सकते हैं। गुड बिहेवियर में हम ये देख सकते हैं कि वी कैन डिवाइड द 2 ग्रुप्स ऑल्सो। कौन सा बच्चा, कौन सा ग्रुप अच्छे व्यवहार कर रहा है, एक में की कंपटीशन के द्वारा। हाँ कि हाँ आज इस ग्रुप ने बहुत अच्छा व्यवहार किया तो आज इनको इतने टोकन मिले, तो उसके बदले इनको क्या दिया जाएगा रिस्पॉन्स कॉस्ट में। आज इनको चिप्स के पैकेट दिए जाएंगे, या आज उनको मतलब कहीं पिकनिक पे ले जाया जाएगा, आज उनको आधे घंटे गार्डन में प्ले करने दिया जाएगा। तो हम किसी अच्छे व्यवहार के बदले ही उनको वो करने के लिए दे रहे हैं। ईच ग्रुप इनअप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर आर रिकॉर्डेड इन फ्रंट ऑफ होल क्लास। ये भी हम कर सकते हैं कि अगर बच्चे खराब व्यवहार कर रहे हैं तो हम उनको बता सकते हैं आज इतने बार इन्होंने, सब क्लास के सामने अगर बताते हैं एक बार तो उन्हें भी लगेगा कि नहीं आज सब क्लास के सामने बोला गया है तो हम अगली बार से हमारा खराब व्यवहार नहीं करेंगे, हम अच्छे व्यवहार को बढ़ाएंगे। तो इंक्लूसिव सेटअप में भी ये चीजें की जा सकती है। ये एक बोर्ड भी हम बना सकते हैं जिसके थ्रू हम लोगों को गुड बिहेवियर के लिए, इंक्रीजिंग डिजायरेबल बिहेवियर के लिए हम मोटिवेट कर सकते हैं। Then group evaluation plays also a very important role, where group average system is there, consonance based system is there, and that we want to evaluate the form of each student in a group. We can rate the group behavior, whatever the behavior we want to increase, that behaviors we need to rate that behavior in a proper way, in a cost way, and compare the teacher and the student rating also, where the student get motivated to having the increase the desirable behavior more in an inclusive setup. Then independent group system may we can apply it to the whole class also, where individual students can contribute there, and the reinforcement based on the own performance or the behavior. And the token economy system, yesterday Momita madam has already highlighted about the token economy system for the in the reinforcement, where students earn the token for the showing the appropriate behavior. So in whole class, if we make the independent group system also, that give motivate to increase the desirable behavior and the inclusive setup. Then group evaluation, this is the token economy system, where we can make the elaboration, where we system can be developed in such a way that the elaboration is there, chosen the token is there. Then we can identify the reinforcement according to the student preference. We can see the preference of the student, where we can see that what they have preferred to increase the desirable behavior in the inclusive setup. And we can collect the material which we needed for the token system also, where the student can be motivated seeing the token, and they can do the desirable behavior as many as possible. Then we can arrange in a such a way in the classroom, where we can place our student in a middle of the student, so they can feel that I am the leader of this class, and I have given a token that I am sitting in the middle of, and introduce and explain about the system and all that. Use the token system in such a way that they can determine how to handle incorrect behavior and motivate for the correct behavior. Then raise the system to the correct any problems, whatever the revise the system, and we can revise and raise the system in such a way that we can revise the system to correct any problem. We need to revise the thing in such a way that where the problem is facing, and we want to see the token system how to change and all that. And in this we can say that wherever we can begin with the phase out of the token system, we need to see how to decrease the token system, because that impact is a very important role in increasing the token economy system in the desirable behavior in the inclusive sector. So we want to see all these things whenever the token economy system we can use in the inclusive setup. Then dependent group system, where we can say that the applied would be whole class, where partners and peers are there, in that the individual students are reinforced in the based of their own peers and select the student accordingly, where dependent groups are there, where we can select the student for the desirable behavior and do accordingly. Then the most important point again came in inclusive setup, where desirable behaviors we want to increase, that group oriented management system, where this system is very much important when we say why, where we want to promote the good behavior, we want to decrease the undesirable behavior, misbehavior, cooperation, teaching responsibility, and get use of variety of behaviors, where we want to see it to give the positive method of dealing the problems to increase the desirable behavior in the classroom. This group oriented management why we will do, because of all these things we want to, because हमें क्यों करना है, इसलिए करना है कि हमें अच्छे व्यवहारों को बढ़ाना है उस क्लास में, हमें खराब व्यवहारों को कम करना है, हमें एक साथ मिलकर काम करना है, हमें हर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को ध्यान में रख के पढ़ाना है, उसके बाद जो भी अलग अलग तरीके के व्यवहार हो रहे हैं उसको देखते रहना है कि कौन सा व्यवहार कब कहाँ क्या हो रहा है, और पॉजिटिव व्यवहारों को हमें हर समय डील करना है कि उसे हम बढ़ावा दें, और जो प्रॉब्लम बिहेवियर है उसको हमें कम करना है, क्योंकि हम इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन में काम कर रहे हैं जहाँ की बाकी बच्चे भी हैं, जो हमें ये देखना है कि हमारे इस व्यवहार से बाकी बच्चों को कोई तकलीफ तो नहीं हो रही है, इसलिए अच्छे व्यवहारों को बढ़ाना है और जो खराब व्यवहार है, जो गलत व्यवहार है, उन्हें कम करना है। बिहेवियर रिडक्शन इंटरवेंशन, बिहेवियर रिडक्शन इंटरवेंशन मतलब हम कहाँ पे हम कौन सी चीजों को छाटा जा सकता है, कम किया जा सकता है, इन बातों को भी ध्यान में रखना है जब हम इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन में काम करते हैं। जब ये काम करते हैं इसमें भी तीन चीजों का बहुत बड़ा रोल अदा होता है, वो होता है कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं, कहाँ कर रहे हैं और कब कर रहे हैं, ये तीन चीजें बहुत बड़े मायने में हमें ध्यान में रखना है। What, when and why when we are doing the behavior reduction intervention. In this also there are the 5 things we want to have take into criteria when we are doing the behavior reduction techniques, where we use a redirection, choose choice statements and corrective techniques. Use redirection, choice statement and corrective techniques. We want to see what statements we have used and where we want to correct that. Then employ interpraised request we want to see, where we want to हम ऐसी चीजें नहीं देखना है जो कि वो बिखर जाए, हमें ये देखना है कि हमें वो चीजें बिखरवाना नहीं है, मतलब अलग अलग चीजें नहीं करवाना है कि जो हमारे हाथ से चली जाए। तो हमें इन सब चीजों का भी ध्यान में रखना है जब हम एक साथ इन बच्चों के लिए काम करते हैं। Use the positive reductive and procedures, differential reinforcement techniques. Yesterday Momita ma'am has already spoken about the differential reinforcement technique. So हमें जब भी ये यूज करना है तब हमें ध्यान में रखना है कि हम किस सिद्धांत से, किस टेक्निक से डिफरेंशियल रेनफोर्समेंट टेक्निक का हम वापर करेंगे इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन में, ताकि उनके अच्छे व्यवहारों को हम बढ़ा सके। यूज प्लान नॉट वी वांट इग्नोरिंग, मींस प्लान्ड इग्नोरिंग को हमें इग्नोर नहीं करना है। हमें इसको इग्नोर नहीं करना है, हमें हर चीज को केयरफुली ध्यान में रखना है जब हम वो चीज को काम में करते हैं, हमें जो भी व्यवहारों को बढ़ाना है एक इंक्लूसिव सेटअप में। यूज रीडायरेक्शन, चॉइस स्टेटमेंट एंड करेक्टिव टेक्निक में क्या होगा, टीचिंग में क्या होगा, तो रीडायरेक्शन, चॉइस स्टेटमेंट्स एंड करेक्टिव टीचिंग, ये तीन मुद्दे हमें ध्यान में रखना है जब हम इंक्रीज करते हैं डिजायरेबल बिहेवियर्स को। रीडायरेक्शन, कोई भी डायरेक्शन को हम रीडायरेक्ट कर सकते हैं अगर हमें लग रहा है कि हमें उसको वापस बदलना है। हमें जो भी स्टेटमेंट को हम चॉइस करते हैं उसको देखना है कि हम कहाँ इसको करेक्ट वे में हम टीचिंग के माध्यम से हम करवा सकेंगे, ताकि उसके व्यवहार अच्छे हो सके, उसके व्यवहार में अच्छा बदलाव आ सके, उसके व्यवहारों को हम बदल सके। तो हमें ये रीडायरेक्शन, चॉइस स्टेटमेंट और करेक्टिव टेक्निक टीचिंग को हमें ध्यान में रखना है। redirection में हमें when we are redirection we want to making the comments of using the behavior design to interrupt the misbehave and the prompt students to use appropriate behavior and work on the activity at hand। जो भी एक्टिविटी हमारे पास है उस एक्टिविटी को ध्यान में रखते हुए हमें अप्रोप्रिएट व्यवहारों को उत्तेजित करना है, हमें अप्रोप्रिएट बढ़ावा देना है, उसको हमें ध्यान में रखना है कि हमें अच्छे व्यवहारों को बढ़ावा देना है और जो मिसबिहेव कर रहा है उसको वही रोकना है। उसमें रिमूव द इंडिविजुअल्स ऑब्जेक्ट्स एंड स्टिमुलाई टू अपीयर द कॉजिंग द मिसबिहेवियर। अगर हमें लग रहा है कि इसके पास कुछ ऐसी चीजें हैं वो तुरंत में उसे हटा देनी है ताकि वो और मिसबिहेव ना कर सके और हम उसका रीडायरेक्शन अच्छे सही व्यवहारों के तरफ ले जाएं ताकि उसके व्यवहार सही डायरेक्शंस में जाएं। स्टेट क्लियरली व्हाट द टीचर वांट्स टू स्टूडेंट्स टू डू। हमें ये ध्यान में देखना है कि हम क्लियरिटी होनी चाहिए कि बच्चा इस समय ये कर सकता है या बच्चा इस समय ये जरूरत पड़ सकती है या वो जरूरत पड़ सकती है, तो हमें तुरंत उस चीजों को ध्यान में रखते हुए उसको फेर बदल लाकर उसके अच्छे व्यवहारों को बढ़ाना है। जब भी हम चॉइस स्टेटमेंट्स की बात करते हैं तो हमें प्रमोट करना है, वी वांट टू prompt the students to choose between engaging the positive behavior and accepting the consequence associated with the continued misbehavior. For example, when you देन यू, मतलब हमें ये चीजों का चॉइस स्टेटमेंट रखना है कि इफ यू देन आई विल, यू कैन, मतलब हमें हर समय ये ध्यान में रखना है कि जो भी हमारे स्टेटमेंट होंगे उसको ये ध्यान में रखना है कि कब करेगा, क्या करेगा, कैसे करेगा, उसके बाद क्या करना है, ये करेगा तो क्या होगा, वो करेगा तो क्या होगा। अगर उस चीजों को हम पॉजिटिव वे में अगर बच्चों को रखते हैं तो उनके अच्छे व्यवहार बढ़ने के चांसेस होते हैं और हम उसको सही डायरेक्शन में ले जा सकते हैं। हम इस तरीके से उस बोर्ड, हमारे एक बोर्ड तैयार करके उस पर लिखा भी जा सकता है कि आज ये बच्चा ये करेगा वो करेगा, तो उसमें एक इंक्रीज होने के चांसेस और ज्यादा होते हैं कि वो अच्छा व्यवहार और कर सकता है। What are the corrective techniques which we need to have? The approach of approach the students individually with a positive or empathetic comment, or briefly describing the misbehavior, briefly describing the desired behavior, explain the why desired behavior is important. The student practice or role play or repeat the steps in the desirable behavior, delivering feedback, praise, and points. All these are the corrective techniques we can use in the inclusive classroom, where the desirable behavior can be increased and the undesirable behavior can be decreased. Then self-monitoring, we already tell that the student measuring their own behavior by the using the data collection of the system. We can collect the data of the self-monitoring where we can re-evaluate for the desirable behaviors and all that. We can make this type of worksheet where we can see every day talking out to the set, or the physical constraint or cursing, whatever the child is doing in the behavior problems, we can make this chart for the children. Then stress control, talking about what the someone you have a trust, then he can make a friends or peer mediators are there, adult parent teacher principals are there. Do something physical exercises to decrease their behavior problem and increase their desirable behavior. Make a plan, name all the things that are bothering to you or the child, or make a plan to deal with each of them. All this can be stress control. Then you want to make the list of positive consequences for the individual student of the classroom.
Madam,
Where, yeah,
we're
yeah,
running.
time constraint, I know, I'm this is the some activities are there in which you can choose out these activities for the students, where they can have choose the for the increasing the desirable behaviors and all that. Then lastly, I want to say that self instructions are there in the children's, that when what you want to identify the problems and all that. Then self-managing the peer interactions you should be maintained, telling the peers stop, I don't like it, that, and ignoring the and walking away and the peers and all that. And in this, thank you for your time, attention, cooperation, and for listening me. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. That was a wonderful presentation. Very informative. I think all of us have learned a lot from this presentation. If you have any questions, please write them in the chat box. I've also given you the YouTube link. There also you can ask your questions. Or if anyone has any particular question, you can unmute and you can raise your hand. I will allow you to unmute. Any question, please put it in the chat box. I see there are still some people who have not used your name while joining this program. We have been repeatedly telling you to change the name, to rename and give your own name. Your attendance will be a problem. We may not be able to give you the grades in that case. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, sir, for inviting me. And it's great. You have given me a good platform. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really great meeting you. Of course, we'll have you on board maybe later on once again.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. It's my pleasure to join you again.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next presenter, next resource person is Mr. Deep Narayan Talukdar. I can see him. Mr. Talukdar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talukdar is there. I have made you also the co-host, so it won't be a problem if net issues are there on my side. Mr. Deep Narayan Talukdar is the coordinator in North Bengal Human Resource Handicap Rehabilitation Society. He's also looking after the special education cell in that college there. He will be speaking on the role of special education teachers for managing behavior in the classroom. If you have any presentation, you can start your presentation also. If you can give just one, I'll stop this streaming. I'll restart the streaming. Then